welcome to something different. I decided, I've actually for a while wanted to do this, but it's been like forever. And we've already recorded this many seasons. We can't really reflect on anything since it's been like we're at 6 seasons now, and it's coming out soon. Spoiler. But I thought we'd do something different. It's a little bit of like perspective. Asking questions to Sam, and Sam asking questions to me, and then we have someone else that did questions for us that we're gonna kind of both, reflect on.
We'll just call it Mr. Perspective.
We'll call it Mr. Perspective. And so basically, the reason why I wanted to do this for a reason is, I want to learn a little bit about, kind of thoughts that go throughout someone else's mind. I want to ask questions about the show as well as to myself. It's kind of like a reflective period. It's not to gain views. It's not to get a lot of crap from the audience of because it's not like we've made anything great so that has been warrants some media coverage, but it's like reflective kind of material. And so I kind of want to ask, a couple questions and stuff like that. So what we're going to do is Sam has written out 10 questions he would like to ask me, and I'd ask 10 questions to him I'd like to ask him, and then we're going to have a second part. This is the first part that will cover the questions that are asked from the Mr. Perspective, and as well as a top 10 list of games we like to use for a leveled up, like in general, like game series, stuff like that.
Games we haven't touched on yet.
Well, no, games that we have touched on and that we liked using.
Okay, thanks for
But we could do another list later down the road. We might do it later. Games we'd like to delve into, but we'll do like a top 5 list. We'll make it small. So I guess let's get started. So I'll read them off because my voice sounds great and totally not altered or sick at all. So so like Sam, no. You want to start us off since on the left side? You go first and you say a question to me.
Okay, the first question I have for you, Alex, is, was making comic content something you dreamed of doing since you were a kid?
Simple answer, no. I did it as a pastime. I like, making videos and stuff like that. I actually had a really big camera as a kid. It had night vision and everything like that. In fact, fun fact, I made 2 movies that will never come out. But the clips are actually still there on YouTube on one of my channels if you can find it there, which are actually pretty funny looking back. But no, I never really wanted to make comedic stuff as a kid. I mean, I like sports. I liked, fun fact, I wanted to be a police officer when I was really young.
Damn.
Thank God that changed. But no, I just did this as a comedic kind of thing, it's just for fun. Yeah.
Wow. That's a mere complete opposite of my life.
Yep.
In terms of a career, that's quite interesting.
All right, my question for you, Sam, is this. What series do you wish we could have delved more into that we have already done before?
Well, if I had to choose, because Yakuza is a close second, because there's stuff in between that you've used, that we've used, that is really funny, and there's always gold of that. But I feel like if we can use more of a series and not just one game, it would have to be the Metal Gear Solid series. Simply because 5, whatever we use, is always great. I've already seen some stuff from another game I should not mention right now, and I'm really liking what I see so far.
You might see it in Season 6.
What?
I already announced that Season 6 is coming.
Okay,
cool. Carry on.
But anyway, yeah, and if we can use any other games from the series, even if we have to date back to the first one, then absolutely, because the reason I say this is because I feel like Hideo Kojima is a genius with his wall breaking and his commentary and stuff like that. Just there's tons of stuff in all his games that I feel like, at least as someone who's never played much of those games, there's just something there that we can use for content, whether it be self-aware or just something we can poke out to begin with. And I feel like 5 as an introduction for myself onto the series is the perfect stepping stone for that. So if we get more clips from that game or any of the others, I feel like I want to see more of those.
Don't worry, I'll probably delve into it. I'll start first since, Sam, you started first last time.
Okay.
What do you look forward to most when you start producing an episode?
If we're talking about the editing side of stuff, like just one thing, just looking back on the clips again, it's always fun. I'm always getting a laugh no matter what clips it is. I think the one thing that I'm most excited about whenever I start putting it all together is like if there's any possibility, if it comes at the right time, at the right moment, to add something visually, or just anything that could enhance the joke that's already funny, and then you just amp it up to 100 or even 1,000 if you catch my drift. Just, there's 1 or 2 examples I could give, but I won't divulge, that's another topic entirely, where I've added a visual touch or anything like that, and you, Alex, you're just like, oh my god, dude, that's way better than I initially anticipated. So anything stuff like that, and it can't be forced. It has to come naturally.
Yeah.
if it feels right and I can do it, then absolutely. I enjoy everything about the process of putting all this stuff together, but if there's one thing I'm always excited about, it's just always that possibility.
And I think I know exactly which one you're talking about because I've seen it and it's hysterical.
Sweet.
But we'll let the audience figure that out. What's your question?
My second question for you, Alex, is that can you tell me any comedic inspirations that go to not only Leveled Up, but your whole video library on YouTube as a whole?
That's actually a really hard question because, like I said, I never really expected to do any of this crap and not get paid for it, but I still have fun with it. That's the whole point. I did it. But if I had to say any comedic inspirations, I think for me it's like, most comedians nowadays, they get their jokes from, not just because they thought of them, but because it actually happened in their lives and they just work with it. And so, I'm always the kind of person that likes to tell stories, and whether it be funny or very serious, or, I like to patent out the story. But if I had a person or inspiration or something like that, it would probably be someone called Mitch Hedberg. One of the funniest comedians I can ever think of. I recommend you look him up. Basically, he's known for his dry kind of stand-up humor, like, I'm talking like Rodney Dangerfield kind of stuff, but it's so dumb. Like for example, here's a little joke I can think of, is a guy says, "Hey, here's a picture of me when I was younger. Every picture is of you when you were younger." And then he comes back later on and says, "Here's a picture of me when I'm older. You son of a bitch, how'd you do that? Let me see that camera." It's so simple and dumb humor that I incorporate a lot of those puns and stupid joke humors. It's just something so simple. I don't need to think about it. It's just funny. It's like Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters, where it's funny and you don't know why. It shouldn't be funny. It just is. When something just is funny, it's funny. And so when I play a video game and I see something funny, I have to record it. Of course it's funny. And so I just think that's everything in a whole that I do. Is like, if I see things funny, that's something that is funny, then it's funny to me.
Oh, wow. Really interesting to know. Question number 3 for you, Alex. Which video games are you always excited to record for? Give, 3 brief examples, if you can.
3 examples. Definitely Metal Gear Solid 5. I actually just reinstalled it for the sake of maybe recording more clips, and for maybe because I actually want to 100% the game. I've already invested, probably 100 hours into that sucker. I think actually more than that. I'm at, 120. And I still haven't beaten it. There's just so much you have to do, so many tasks you have to do. I just love recording for that game. It's so fun. There's a reason why it has, fun fact, been around since Season 2, aka Leveled Up Season 1, not to be confused. Press A to laugh. It's always been there. I'd say second one would be any of the Yakuza games. Yakuza, however you pronounce it. I just think the humor writes itself. I don't need to say or do anything. It's just that funny. Yakuza 0 is just a great game. It got me into the series really hard. I mean, I played the original couple ones on the PlayStation 2, but I don't remember it much. I'd say for a third game, I'd say a lot of any Call of Duties have been really funny. And because Jason always comes over and says, "Hey, you want to play Call of Duty?" It's like, "Yeah, I do. You want to make clips?" "Oh, yeah, let's do it." And so we always make clips with Call of Duty. Those are just kind of my main 3 stays.
Wow.
All right, so my question to you, Sam, is there anyone in particular you would like to bring in to record dialogue for the show? Either someone you know or someone you've met online or whatever.
Okay, so in terms of my personal life, there's a couple of people I can name at the top of my head. I won't say their names for convenience's sake, personal lives and whatever. Mainly because, I know they have vast amount of knowledge on video games. I know they have a distinct personality for comedic-wise or whatever. And if they can come into, give their take or bring something into the table that's unique to a season or a clip, what have you, then absolutely. And in terms of famous people, I don't know, Jacksepticeye or something.
Wait, I have an idea.
Yes.
Well, all right, we should time clock this wherever it is. Put it on the screen or somewhere, whatever background you're using. Okay. And we should send this to Jacksepticeye. Say, "Hey, Jacksepticeye, how much to record 6 words of dialogue for our show? It's stupid, pointless, but how much?" And we should send this to him like a tweet or something.
Oh my god!
I would attempt it. Hey, it'd be stupid. I would just 6 words, just anything. And so
my name is Jacksepticeye. Okay, bye.
okay. Where's my money? This clip is brought to you by Jacksepticeye. Hey, where's my money? It just ends.
I love it already, Jack, baby.
Come on,
get back to us.
That would be pretty cool. Sam, what finale are you most proud of?
Well, there's a couple I can think of at the top of my head that I look back on really fondly, I think the one finale that I look on that I feel like took the most risks, but it paid off fantastically, is A Day of Tazumaki! Just because it's one of the few clips in general anyway, not just counting a finale, that has a live action segment. And this one is special because it relies on the live action segment to work. So you're mixing that in with like the 10 seconds of footage for the clip that we use from the game and in a few other things as well. But all melded in, I feel like it's just done perfectly just to tell the simple joke. I feel like it pays off tremendously. And it's like, it might be a long time coming for us to do a finale to that effect, more risks, just to get like the biggest laughs. I just love it.
All right. And what do you got for me?
Is there a video game genre that you will never see yourself making material on?
Okay. I will never actually ever say anything no to something. I feel like anything can be made fun of, or there could always be a joke to be made. That being said, there are some games that are pretty hard to make content about. Like I said, I feel like you can make a joke about anything. There's no like fine line. I mean, there is. I can think of one fine line. In fact, it's the only fine line I say we can't cross, which is political stuff, because it's kind of a serious thing, and honestly, you shouldn't delve politics into something that's supposed to be entertainment. It's supposed to be fun. There's not supposed to be something that's real life based. But I can't think of a game that's too controversial or I won't make a game about it. I've actually removed clips because I think they're either being too violent or like it's kind of a small dub. I've made hanging jokes, several of them, because they work, because they're in a game and it's a video game. It's supposed to be a joke. It's escapism. Shut your mouth. But things I would never make stuff about is probably games that I can't make content about. A lot of story-based games. Maybe some sports games, maybe were trivia games or some hard ones, unless it's Trivia Pursuit. It's hard. I can't make content about something that I can't see a joke in, so maybe those.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned something along those lines, because that kind of answered my next question. Do you believe using current events and timely references can hinder a potentially funny joke? And you kind of answered that already.
Yes. Definitely current events. I mean, there's times where, it's not the best time to make a joke about something that's happened, but I usually try not to delve into that. If you want to see someone delve into that, into controversial territory and be funny at the same time, check out Sunburn Albino. He's fucking hysterical. I don't do it because I don't benefit from it. Just don't, current events, politics, stuff like that. I just don't see myself ever making jokes about that because it's something so serious that I don't want to delve into the whole point of entertainment. It's supposed to be fun, a joke, not something like that. Regards to timely, don't take anything personally. If you do, tough luck, bitch.
Yeah.
And as regard to timely references, and I'm going to assume like pop culture, things that are going on right now.
Of course.
No, just don't see, because it's already being run into the ground. There's times where we could benefit from that, but I don't see myself. I think like timely stuff, like, where you made a list about Crash Bandicoot was perfect timing. But for the most part, I can't really make a joke about something that's already going on right now because it's going to already come out like a year later after it anyway. So
exactly.
Not really.
We don't want to be the Simpsons on this. Anyway, next question for me.
Is there a recurring joke you wish you could get rid of or see less of?
See, there's the thing, because I don't think there's ever been a joke where, because it's your show, and obviously I want you to.
It's also your show too.
Well, partly, yeah, but it's like, you're the one who comes up for the jokes for the most part, and I can't take that away from you. There's never been a point where I stand up saying, no, we can't use this joke. I feel offended or just don't think it's funny. I think there's only one joke I can think of at the top of my head where it doesn't annoy me completely. I'm just like, eh. And it's one of your favorites too, so I kind of feel bad for saying it anyway, but...
I'll feel bad.
But for the Metal Gear Rising, I believe, where the guy's like, I'll shoot you dead. Timothy, dinner! I feel like the joke is fine on its own, but I just feel like, of course you do. I just feel like from my comedic experience or what have you, if it was dealt with in a different tone or just something was altered so that way it could potentially be more funny, then that would be fine. But I honestly can't think of anything that I would get rid of per se, unless future me, edit me this right now, put in a clip
puns
that yeah, put in the worst pun.
That female salesman ripped me off. I better sue her. I hate you.
In your opinion, what types of games are hardest to get clips from?
That took me a little bit to think of, because if it's usually just a game that I know I want to play anyway due to timing or what have you, and I'll usually get clips for it anyway. In terms of getting humor and such, I feel like games like Life is Strange. I have nothing against people who play those games.
They're good games. It's
exactly, but in terms for comedic effects and if any potential humor, it's just really hard because it takes itself way too damn seriously to the point where what can I do to make it funny? You can't, because they're probably dealing with a subject matter that you probably shouldn't take
maybe because it's probably the plot of the game.
Undercarriage, what?
Oh, gee, undercarriage.
I don't know. I was trying to deal with a
controversial
plot.
You can't even do it. It's impossible. It really is impossible.
Exactly. So probably games like that, and it's because of playing Life is Strange anyway. I'm just done with those games just because they don't connect with me. But more power to the people who play them. So am I asking you a question next?
You might be.
My question next for you, Alex, is what would you say, respectively, was the easiest and hardest clips for you to make for the show so far? You don't need to go into too much detail.
Actually, like I said, this is one of the few things. We went over this to look at the questions themselves to make sure we didn't have the same questions. And this is actually one of the hardest questions I think I can answer. Mm-hmm. Easiest, either a pun or I think there was like some of those 2-minute clips that like me just burps and it just comes out perfectly. Hardest clips.
I can think of one.
I mean, Hideo Tatsumaki was hard because we had to read through a script. But, geez, this is hard. It's really hard.
Can I name what could potentially be a hard clip for you?
You go for it, and I'll see if I agree.
I can't remember the full context. It had something to do with Final Fantasy 12. But it was like you had so many problems like trying to get it out onto the mic. It was like you kept messing up. It was like, I hate this clip so much.
I think I remember what that one is. Yeah, that's the one where he's like, he couldn't read, or he's like, if I just stare at him eventually, yeah.
Yes, that's
it's either that one or some of the gathering up. Oh, I know what the hardest clip was, and
Go for it.
Because it actually ruined the whole game for me. Okay. It was the Monster Hunter finale. Because it had legitimately ruined the entire game for me. I've never played it since I did all the clips. I literally got as many points as I could just to record the clips, and I hated the game for it. I shouldn't, because it's a good game. I know it is. I just have to. It's hard to restart something that I got so frustrated with.
Well, we know someone who's not getting the DLC in September.
I know. All right.
So my next question for you, Alex, is: would you say there are any differences between recording clips on your own and with others, and which do you prefer?
First one. Yeah, no shit. There's some severe differences. I hate, to be honest, like I said, it's simpler for me to record at home because it's my idea. I have it on the fly and I'm ready to do it. I'm probably always thinking about it when I was already ready to do. And so it's less of a hassle. But then I realize it's not less of a hassle because I'm recording on a piece of shit, like recording thing that sounds like, you're submerging someone's face into water and trying to sing you like, the national anthem underwater. It's just hard to record clips at my house because there's lots of noise and distractions. I live in a room that's very open. And here you're kind of separated from else. It's almost like your own recording studio. So I'd rather record here, where we had some peace and quiet to do so. Though also there's another reason why it's also really hard to record here as well, involving somebody, and I won't say who. It's not your wife. It's not your wife.
No, I know who you're talking about.
We damn well know.
You hearing that? Whoever
you can't
that is?
say certain words, which I won't say here now, but I don't blame her because it's her home.
It's a woman now. Shall we get into the next question before we get too much into
it? But honestly, do I prefer? Probably here, because more creative freedom to do as we please and spitballing.
And potentially more people to do it with.
Yep, there's less spitballing at my house, so yeah, here.
There you go.
Simpler at my house, but better, more creative here.
Sweet. All right, what's your question for me?
Do you have a finale idea in your mind that you would like to lead with?
Not
what? Me, you.
It's funny you mention that because I was thinking it while we were looking over these questions, and there is a genre of game that I feel like will be great for a finale to tell the story, and it will lead up to a really great punchline, no pun intended. But it's like, I can't spoil it because I just thought of it. We're already just talking about it, so who knows if this will be in a future season, like 7.
Here's a fun little fact. For the most part, I've directed the finales. I've also directed the direction we go in.
Yes, you have.
But, when we did, like, the Monster Hunter one, there was a lot of creative freedom passing around. We made a lot of jokes, and we changed up and then did our thing, and that's what worked out. The same with Hideo Tatsumaki and stuff like that. So I'm going to let him direct this one because, like I said, I want something different. We did do it with another finale. We kind of did that, and it went on him. But this one, I want him to fully direct the idea, not me. I only spitball things. Hey, we could try this, but I won't. Yeah. I'll let him take the stick. Is there a sports game you would like to make clips about that we already haven't covered?
Well, for majority, I know you told me we've made a couple of clips on hockey, but I feel like
I just looked it up. No, it
you didn't.
Yeah, so see, I looked it up. We haven't yet.
Oh, okay. They haven't been
we
released
have.
on YouTube.
It's not coming out anytime soon.
Well, in that case, if you're already ahead on the game, I would highly suggest doing hockey as a focus for sports material, just simply because I know nothing about the sport in general for the most part. But from what I've seen, it's like really violent, just really, really, really good potential if it can be showcased in games. I feel like we can get good potential of, and I feel like I can trust you to get that kind of material from.
Absolutely.
So my next question for you, Alex, is that if you had the proper video game capture equipment, would you be willing to use games from other systems? If so, please give at least 3 examples.
Yes, absolutely. So you want games from other systems?
Absolutely.
I'd go PlayStation for the most part on the console, and I'd probably do Legend of Loud Guy for sure. I don't think there would be any question in my mind. I wouldn't pick my favorite game of all time to have clips about. Assuming we've already used a theme from it. Other games, I'd probably use. Well, I know there's like the SNES and stuff like that. I heard that's a rumor it might come to the Switch as SNES Online. I want to do Earthbound for sure. Earthbound is a cult classic, and it's very expensive. If you want to look it up to buy it, good luck. Back to the PlayStation, I might do the original Metal Gear Solid. I feel it's a game I'd like to take a trip down memory lane and stuff like that. I just have a lot of PlayStation 1 games I'd like to use. I just have a bunch ready to go, and I still have my original PlayStation, so it works just fine. So, well, except for the fact that if you touch the back part, it shuts it all off. But aside from that, it works perfectly, and I would like to take a trip down memory lane.
What was, retrospectively, the easiest and the hardest thing to experience behind the scenes of making Leveled Up, and how did you overcome it?
The easiest thing.
Do you need to think on this?
No, I got time. Easiest thing I think to experience behind the scenes is, I'd say probably coming up with ideas. I think like I said, normally like we have an idea like right on the spot of what we want to do, and so for the most part, it's like I already have ideas, so it's not hard to come by, and it's easy to spitball because we're kind of in the moment. Hardest thing is definitely the when you're doing a lot of these in a row, which we sometimes do. We get like up to 100 of these, and it just takes a long time. It really takes it out of you because you're either screaming into the mic or you're screaming into the mic. It takes a long time to just do it, and considering there's 400 almost clips in a single season, it takes a long time. And sometimes getting around to it can be a nuisance. It's waiting for the perfect time to do it. So.
What's your question for me?
Oh wait, how do I overcome it? Okay, well, simple. There's also extended part. How do you overcome it? Easy. You just get over it. Just get through it.
Life.
All right, and for you, if you could, it's very similar to yours. If you could, would you record clips on older systems to get footage? And if yes, which console you play most of your games on?
Oh, absolutely yes. Because I know of 1 or 2 programs that can video game capture directly. It'd be really effective to get the sort of quality that we get from before. And the answer is really similar to yours, honestly. If we had the chance of the console, it would obviously be the original PlayStation, because I feel like we both have our fair share of knowledge of the games we grew up on, what we could use for potential humor and what have you. That would be the perfect place to start off at least. And then the Super Nintendo would obviously be a close second. Last question.
If you have higher quality equipment for making episodes and recording footage, what would be your first priority in making something better?
Okay, kind of expanding a little on what I answered before. I think the first priority would definitely be the video game capture, and that would be if we get the chance to get anything like that, because I've known video game capture devices or just any kind that would come out terribly on the output when you put it on the computer, whether it be the frame rate or just for some reason it just looks so choppy. It comes back worse off than it originally did. So to answer that question, it's answering another question too. If we had that equipment and we had the higher frequency to bring out better content quality because of it, then that would definitely be my first priority. Anything involving like editing, video editing, and what have you, those will come along the road if if it came to it. Honestly, I'm sounding like Morty. Rick.
Yeah.
Next question.
All right. Well, what do you got for me?
My final question for you, Alex, is that this really seems to be no end for the show, honestly. Is like, how much longer? Because, not to derail, because I don't know about you, but I have fun with it. I see no end in it myself. How much longer do you see yourself keeping Level Up going, roughly?
Until I hate it.
It's impossible.
There's a difference between hating something and when you get tired of something.
Mm-hmm.
There was another show we made. I didn't get tired of it, but I got burnt out by it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I have multiple reasons to go back to it, which we'll talk about eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But when I really just get tired of it and when I just don't enjoy doing it anymore, then that's when I stop. Or until economic reasons push it off to, and when I run out of time. Any of those two are also pretty good. But basically until I truly don't like it. Now, do you have a quick bonus question for me?
I thought we were only doing 10 questions. It'd be silly for me to answer. Oh, what do you know? Question 11.
Just totally in the whole time.
Okay, I guess it was. Real quick, can we talk about video game sales?
No.
Well, thanks for joining us in this part of the Level Up Questionnaire. Be sure to join us for part 2 when we have Mr. What was his name? Mr. Perspective?
Mr. Perspective.
Yes, when we answer his questions at the same time. It'll be fun.
Bye.